What makes you more nervous, seeing the countdown or firing in the winning 10 ball?
Firing in 10 ball.
Oh. Were you nervous? How nervous were you?
Shooting what? The last ball?
Yeah.
The
I'm,
9. The 10 was easy.
Yeah, the
The
10 was
9.
pretty easy, I guess.
yeah, the 9 was tough. Yeah, I mean, after what happened,
I think your 7 was pretty tough too in the previous rack. Just really long and kind of off angled, and you had to work the cue ball.
Well, the 7 in the last wasn't that the 7
No,
with the
I think it
bridge?
was.
With the bridge?
I think it was the rack before the final rack.
Uh,
yeah, maybe.
you
Don't
you
remember.
got some flack online of taking a lot of time in the last track. Was that on purpose, or did you just?
No, I mean, obviously, what happened before the last rack was kind of crazy, and it was
The
no shot
scratch on
clock.
the 10, you mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and also I missed one 5 ball, and he was coming back, so yeah, it was difficult. I mean, I want to take my time to make sure I make the balls. That's why I took my time. Also, he didn't play that fast, when he was on the table. So yeah, I mean, there's no shot clock. So I mean, I want
Sure.
to be sure to make the balls.
And Dennis, Dennis has never said this publicly, but his favorite player is Jonathan Hennessy, and he wants to, grow into him as he, develops his career. So,
I can play fast as well, and I played fast. So, I mean, it's just the 9-9 all. It's a big event, big title. I want to win. I don't mind. I don't care really how the other or who's gonna say something. Oh, I played slow. I
Sure.
played fast. I played within the rules, and I
Sure.
managed to win. That's the most important.
well,
Sure.
ultimately, the same people that are saying that you played slow are the same people that the biggest title they've ever won was a semifinal finish in their APA 4 match, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Indeed.
So,
Indeed. Indeed. So, just a small question. Uh, you're 9-4. You pot a 10. You think you win. You see the cue ball going into the hole, and then you see him barging back to 9-all. You still had confidence that you were going to win it, or was there like, oh damn?
I was already thinking like if I lose the match, I lose the match. Life goes on. It's just a game. I try to be still positive that I still have a chance to win. And if I get a chance that I could run out, but obviously it was hard in the end because after what happened, I missed like the match ball and then I missed another chance. But he played, really well to get back 9-all. I think he didn't make any mistakes, and also he got a few rows. I played a good safety at 9-8. I was 9-8 up. I played a good safety, and he resaved me. So I mean, yeah. I mean, Alex is a great fighter. He's a great player. So I knew he's not gonna give up. But anyway, I was 9-5 up. I was still thinking like, I mean, I should get the chance and I should run out.
Sure, yeah. And you did when he scratched on the break. So
I mean, I thought I would run out earlier than 9-9. That was my plan. But in the end, it was 9-all, and like tough. Yeah, I would have been devastated if I lose that match.
what
I
was
can.
your? I guess we can talk more about the finals, but what was your thoughts on the event as a whole?
I enjoyed it. There's a great hospitality, good live stream, nice tables. They had referees every table. 10 ball. I like more 10 ball than 9 ball. My results are better in 10 ball. There's more tactical game, less flukes, less luck involved. Also, that I think my 10 ball break is better.
Your tempo break is quite good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like the event. Also, it was in Maldives, so we had a trip to the island, to the resort. It was really nice, one of the nicest natures I've ever seen in my life. Like really clear waters and nice beaches. Yeah, so I really enjoyed the event, and also I can see the people really try to give their best. Also, the award ceremony, they had like the fireworks behind and all kinds of things. So they really tried their hardest, and it was only their second year, So they're learning from their mistakes and they try to make it even bigger the next year and better.
So
It's a
as
no.
well in the pantheon of events now, where does this rank? I mean, as far as like because I mean Puerto Rico Open. I mean, anytime that you get like an event that's in the a really nice location, a beachy type of location, it's kind of nice. You have something to do on the side.
Yeah, you feel like it's kind of a holiday mixed with the work, mixed
Yeah.
with pool. So it's like chill vibes. Also, the match schedule was pretty loose, so we could play like afternoon. We start at 2, 3 o'clock, 1, 2, 3. It was not like 10 in the morning with some tournaments, and you had like 1, 2 matches a day. I think 2 matches a day was like the maximum. So it was kind of relaxed and yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it.
It's probably a little bit better than I don't know Battle Creek, Michigan, or Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin, huh?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Bob, go ahead.
Yeah, just it was a Predator event, right? Or
It's a
not?
W. Oh, you
W
mean with WPA event? Yeah.
WPA events in combination with um what how
It,
were the details of the rules like? Did you have any explanation? Is there some changes in rules, or was that locally based?
it was the
Local
Maldives Pool Billiard Association together
audience.
with WPA,
Okay.
and obviously there was Predator was one of the sponsors,
Yeah.
and I think the government something involved in it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean they have a great team. They have like 10 guys working for the event. Plus, they had like 12 referees, so a big
Nice.
team. They had a great production team as well. There was like 10 people with the production team as well. So I mean, they do a good job, and they try and they if you've seen how they treat Fedor when he arrived to Maldives, they
Mm.
treated him like a king. It was amazing the hospitality and how friendly they were, and they tried to help us with the resort, going to the resort and everything what we needed. So you could just ask, and they tried to do.
The way it
Yeah.
should be then.
Yeah,
Well,
kind of.
as the sport grows, we would like to think that the celebrity of you players are going to be, warranting that a little bit more, right? Just like any other sport.
Yeah, I mean it's nice when you have somebody to help you within their country, and they try to show their best. Locations or sightseeings, and you could learn from their culture or something like that. It's nice to have somebody local helping you.
Yeah. Well, Bob, any other questions for that?
Just how did the entire event go? Did you feel like from the start that yeah, I'm good, I have a chance here, or did some matches you thought I'm not feeling it? I always
Mm,
wonder if you know or feel or have something like yeah, this is my moment, this is my tournament, I'm feeling invincible, nobody can beat me today or these days.
I didn't expect too much in the beginning, but then I had the last 32 match against the Filipino Jonas Magpantay. I
Mm,
played really well. I beat him 10-5. I was 5-4 behind, and then I won the last six racks. And then I looked the draw, and I play Fedor next. And I'm thinking, like, if I can beat Fedor, I have a good chance to make it far. Also, I was
mm,
third in the World Championships in 10 ball, so that gave me confidence. I liked the 10 ball game, and I was feeling pretty good, and I was playing good. So I was really motivated to beat Fedor because he beat me the last few times. So and I knew that if I beat him, I could make far in this tournament. So, and in the middle of the tournament, I was thinking like I'm always third place, fifth place, seventh place. So I mean,
yeah,
ninth, 16th. I want to win this tournament. It's my time, and I've been knocking on the door for a long time. So yeah, I mean, obviously you need some luck and but I managed to be really focused, concentrated every match, and I think I played overall like almost my maximum game.
nice. Does this give you confidence for other tournaments like the WNT tournaments that you play? nevertheless that it's 9-ball, not 10-ball?
I hope so. I hope so. Also, I think the other players will recognize and see that I won just the title. Everybody's seeing who's in form, who's not. So, it's a pool, also a mental game. So I hope they will be afraid of me a little more.
How tough is it to win a tournament on tour at this point? I mean, we're seeing. I mean, we're still going to see Josh, and it seems like Josh is winning every single Euro Tour, and he's still up there at the end. And we see Fedor really, kind of separating himself. We see Kachi kind of, also kind of separating from the field. But in between these wins, I mean, we're seeing wins from like Robbie Capito, yourself. I mean, there are a lot of. It just seems like the field is just so deep, and 50% of the field is a legit chance of making a semis, if not winning the tournament.
Yeah, the level nowadays, it's so crazy. It's really tough. There's so many young players coming in, and as you said, like every tournament, there's like 30 guys maybe who can be in the semifinals. Yeah, it's really tough. I mean, yeah, it's really a lot of good players coming in, the youngsters and the old guys. Yeah, I mean, it's tough.
You welcome that, though. I think just as for the sport, you welcome it. You appreciate the competition.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it brings your level also higher, I guess, when you play with the best players, and and for me, I always had that extra motivation. If I play with the best players, I want to beat them. Because I mean, it gives me the extra, like if I beat this guy, it's nice feeling to beat the best guys.
What does your training schedule look like? I mean, you see some of these players like Sam Henderson, for example. I mean, he's just on the table all the time now. He's an up and coming player, but I found that when I was in my early 20s, all I wanted to do was play. And now that I'm in my 30s, like I don't even want to see a pool table any time of the day. So, I mean, what does your training schedule look like outside of playing events?
Yeah, I'm a bit of like you, Nate, because when I was like younger, like 10 to 20 years old, then I was like 24 hours in the pool room, always playing like 12 hours in a row, maybe 3 days in a row. Now I'm just like more relaxed. I try to find the balance between my pool and my other life. So I tried to do some other things as well. I was 2 weeks in Thailand before the Maldives Open. I was combining the holidays, and also I practiced there, but not as much like Niels or some other guys. Like I could never do that. I think just being like 6 hours straight and playing those drills and stuff, like it's not for me.
So how many hours a week do you think you play?
Well, it depends. Also, it depends like who I can play with, because in Estonia it's kind of difficult to find like match partners. So when I'm outside, I really enjoy playing with the better players if I can. And I don't know how many hours a day, but the schedule of the tournaments are really intense now. So there's every month there's like 2 3 tournaments. So I go from tournament to tournament, and I get a lot of practice in the tournaments and before the tournaments.
Sure. So, well, I mean, I guess we had going back to your finals with Alex. I mean, and maybe the pool is just different than it was 5 years ago. But we would see those funny social media posts where you and Mario, he and Alex Kazakis, and I think Oliver Solnaki was with you guys a lot. You kind of rotated out that fourth a lot. But it was mostly you, Mario, and Alex loading up in a car and driving around the country. Do you think that given the schedule of events these days, that's ever going to happen again for you?
I doubt it. I don't think so. We have so many events, so I try to choose events where I go now. Whereas before, maybe I was playing almost all the events, but it's too stressful, too tiring. Also, it's not only the events; it's you have to travel to there. It takes a lot out of you, and I'm not the youngest player in the tour anymore, so I can't do that. And it must be worth to go there. The prize money must be good, the conditions, to for me to go to the event.
Yeah, I guess maybe 5 years ago it was most of the events were in the United States, and you'd leave for a Euro tour or a few events here or there across the world. But yeah,
Mm.
now it's I guess there's only a few events in the US, right? And most of them aren't smaller events where they're probably not worth going because the ranking events are 4 or 5 thousand if you win it.
Yeah, I mean those tournaments are not anymore really a value to me. And also America is far for us, so to travel between, also we have in Asia, we have tournaments in USA, so travel between those continents is like, it's crazy. So yeah, I try to play the biggest events and the events which are worth to play.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're really chasing a Mosconi Cup bid, I guess
Yeah,
it's hard to do.
that's another reason at the moment I'm not in the chase for Mosconi, so it doesn't really matter for me if I'm number 20, 40 or 30 in the matchroom ranking.
Yeah.
Obviously, I try to be as high as possible, but I'm not chasing the ranking points like crazy. I just try to play the biggest events, and if I do good in the big events, then I maybe chase the Mosconi points as well if I have a chance.
Sure. Do you ever?
The
Go ahead,
go
Mo.
go go go. No, no, no. Go go go.
Well, so so I think for a lot of U.S. and European players, it is that kind of goal of the Mosconi Cup. I mean, that is seemingly the pinnacle of this game. Maybe that's changing now with the World Championship, obviously being 250,000. But is there an event out there, or whether it's a qualifying event or whether it's just an event in general that you have on your radar that you think this is the one that I really want to win before my career is over?
Yeah, I mean everybody's dreaming of the World Nine Ball title, right? Yeah, I mean this is the biggest event what we have at the moment. But I mean any big major or big world event is nice to win. Obviously, it's really tough as we have so many good players. But I mean I try my best, and you know, I mean when I keep playing, I always have a chance to be in the top. And I we will see.
Was there ever a time that you were like, I'm going to chase the Mosconi team, or is it just I'm playing event per event, and if I happen to bink one and I'm
Yeah.
up there, then I will add it to the schedule to chase points?
Yeah, actually, I was kind of chasing. I've been really close two times. Actually, I missed
Mhm.
out one time with 2 points throughout the whole year. Alex Kazakis took the spot.
That was
Oh,
2018, right?
Yeah, and 2014 I was close as well. So I've been close there. I think I still believe that I could get to the Mosconi. It's just a matter of time, I hope.
Yeah, I mean, historically speaking, I mean, well, I shouldn't say the last few years, it's kind of been almost like a good old boys club between Filler and Albin and Jason, and there's been a few, maybe one or two spots that have been rotated out, but for the most part, it's been a core of 4 or 5 players.
Yeah.
But now this year, I mean, this year just looks completely off the wall crazy, right? I mean, we
Yeah.
obviously Eklund's going to be locked in, so that's he played twice, I believe, 2018 and 2019. He's already locked into it. Pius Labutis, I mean, there's a name we haven't seen yet. He's high in the rankings. I think he's third right now, third or fourth in the rankings.
something like that, yeah.
I think we're going to have some pretty interesting Mosconi Cup on the European side, and of course by extension the Reyes Cup, right?
Yeah, I would like to see some new names in the list. It's nice when Pius would make it, or somebody else who's never been there. I think it
Yeah,
would be more exciting to watch than to watch the same guys every year.
yeah.
That's just my personal opinion. But also, there's only 3 spots from the ranking, so yeah, it's tough to get to the spot because we have Filler, Kachi, Albin, Sanchez. We
The,
have the like top 7 players, top 6 players who are really, really good. So they nick the spots like almost every year.
they should obligate a rookie. The more I think about it, the more I think they should have one wild card rookie obligated. To be
I
fair,
like the idea. I like the idea.
yeah.
Even if it's
Just
even if it's at like a limited role, like maybe keep the 5 and have like a sixth as a rookie every year. But they maybe they only play once every other day or something.
Yeah, something like that. But I think like for now, I think barring some crazy stuff happening, I think Europe with the wildcard system and the point system, they could fabricate it that they have like 4 out of 5 guys at a minimum each year, the same team. And then the fifth will also be someone who was already there and then dropped out. Uh, an Alkady story. I think what his last time was 2014. Then he was out for 8 years. Then he's back in. So I would like it to see like a rookie, and a rookie is still between brackets a rookie, yeah, because you can take Mario He as a rookie, you can take Dennis as a rookie. They're not real rookies, but you know what I mean. So
Yeah, I understand.
On that stage, they are.
yeah, okay, but there's a difference. For example, like taking a rookie like a 22-year-old, a 23-year-old, or taking a seasoned vet like Dennis, who's in his 30s, who won titles, who played on the biggest stages. Okay, Mosconi Cup's a different animal, but still, for a 22-year-old or Dennis, it will be also different. So I would like to see rookies, new
There would
guys.
definitely be a test of our friendship, Dennis, if you ever made the Mosconi Cup, because you gotta know that I'm gonna be messing with you as hard as I possibly can.
Yeah, I don't care. But if you watch how many players haven't played in Mosconi and who are really good players, there's so many in Europe. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Like
Well,
you mentioned Mario He. What I mean, he's a really like a great player, and he's never been in Mosconi. There's some other guys also like who never been there, and they're like top players.
I mean, there's an argument that you make for Mario He that over the last 10 years, you probably can't make a top 5 list for European players without him being on it.
Yep.
Consistency wise,
the longevity,
sure.
yeah.
Longevity for sure, absolutely.
I mean, for how long he's been knocking on the door, how many semifinals and finals he's made without really breaking through. And if he breaks through with one of those, he's probably in. I mean, obviously he would have been in the Mosconi Cup had he not had the
snafu. Yeah, the little snafu.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying. However, I like the sight of Albin and Josh and Jason and David, and I'm struggling for the fifth. How is this possible?
Albin, Josh, Jason,
Albin, Josh, Jason,
David, and FSR.
FSR. To see them banging balls, I would like to see a new face because it really changes dynamics. It really changes the dynamic of a team. It really changes the dynamic. Those 5 guys we just mentioned, how wonderful they are as pool players. They're so connected and well versed in what they're doing there. They're virtually unbeatable. And I'm not saying it to give the USA more chances. I'm just saying that it's an uphill battle for the USA if it keeps to be the same 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah, we are unlucky. We have so many great players. I mean, yeah, if you take the whole Polish squad, they've never been to Mosconi, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how many great players are they have?
And I want to see Victor there. I want to see Victor, and I want to see the other guys there in that Mosconi.
We want Wojtek. I mean, looking at I mean, this is the top 10 of the European players right now, though. I mean, as far as getting change up, I think we're going to. There's a good chance, anyways. We got Eklund Kachi. He's already locked in. So, I mean, he's played twice, 18 and 19, but he's never won a Mosconi Cup. I mean, he's lost every Mosconi Cup he's played in. So, we got Eklund Kachi, Joshua Filler, Victor Zielinski, David Alkaidi, Mickey Kraus, another new name, Pius Labutis, another new name, Jason Shaw's number 11.
But he's in, eh? He's in, eh?
Yeah, well, obviously, yeah, he's the captain, right?
Yeah,
Jonas Solta. I mean, there's a name. There's a new name. Mieszko Fortunski, obviously, with his top finish at the UK Open this year, and then Moritz Neuhausen, and then Albin Ocean and FSR are back in 23rd and 24th respectively. So I think we're going to see. It wouldn't surprise me a bit if we have 3. I guess we can't call Kachi a rookie, right? It wouldn't surprise me a bit if we have at least one rookie in there, and maybe a second one with wild card. I mean, it's hard to imagine Jason's going to use that on a wild card when he's going to have FSR, David, Albin to choose from. But
Yeah,
no,
he probably takes one of
The
proven
veterans.
players,
Yeah,
the
yep, yep,
proven players,
sure.
right?
yep.
For sure. For sure.
But
Circling back to the playing in, sorry, Nate, go.
no, go ahead.
With players in Estonia, do you play a lot with Gnadeberg?
Yeah, I play sometimes.
Yeah. What's his range, you think? Up
I
and
think,
comer, top player?
yeah, I think he's very, very good and very good prospect. Also great talent, and he was 30. He was 17th in the UK Open, I believe. He's beat like Wu Kun Lin and Bader and a lot of great players.
Mhm.
So I think he for sure has a great future if he keeps practicing and be concentrated, motivated. But yeah, as we all know, it's really tough also to come through. So we'll see what can he do. But for sure, I would like to enjoy playing with him in the World Cup of Pool if we have a chance. I don't know if there's gonna be one this year, but maybe then next year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's my favorite event every year. That's a bummer.
Yeah,
I
it's
wish
a
they'd
great.
I wish they'd extend the
Yeah,
races because I do think that race of 7 is a little bit short for
yeah,
Scotch doubles, but
yeah,
that's neither here nor there. That's my favorite event of the year
yeah.
to
It's a
watch.
great event. I enjoy that
Yeah.
also.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it a couple of years ago when you knocked out Kevin Lanoy and Serge Das, and I think they were on the hill, and you were a really
They were
couple of
they were 5-1 up, race to
or
7, and I
yeah,
believe we beat them 7-5, and we end
seven,
up
yeah, something like
end
that.
up being in the semis.
Yeah,
And we were also up
yeah,
7-2 in the semis against Germany, and we lost 9-7. So
yeah,
that
yeah,
was a
yeah,
tough
yeah.
one, but I mean, still a great result for a small
Of
country
course,
like us.
of course, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I
Who,
mean, go
hmm.
ahead, Bob.
Who did you play that with? Was that with Maggi?
Yes, with
Yeah.
Maggie.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
He's another great player, but he's not playing that much at the moment. So maybe he's still young. He's like 25. So
Mhm.
he can still come back and he'll still start playing again. But, the money goes up. Also, maybe he gets more motivation to come and play the big events
Do you
because
get
we have.
support from your federation?
Yes, yeah, a little bit.
So is that open to all of your players, or is like you only have like 3 spots or 2 spots or?
It depends, what we have. Like we get some support for the World Championships or European Championships. Now there's gonna be a European Championship, so I think most of the guys are being paid to go there to represent our country. So yeah, I mean we have the federation is doing good job. We just opened the Predator Academy in Tallinn, which has 8 brand new Predator tables, and really it's in the shopping mall. So and you can go there like 24 hours, like 24/7. Just go in and practice whenever you want. So I mean it's based on a monthly. You have to pay like a monthly fee to go in there, but it's a great facility. When I started pool, there was nothing like that. I mean,
Yeah,
now all the up and coming young players, they have so nice facilities. Also, they have coaches, they have online. They can watch YouTube every match.
Okay, what was the pool hall that you played the VG10 out of events out of? Because that thing was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was I mean, our like a private pool room with one table.
Oh, that
Yeah,
that was only one table.
yeah. But it was a few years ago, right? When I started
Oh,
playing pool, like
oh.
15 years ago, it was a smoky pool house and with
I
shit
thought you were
tables
only
and
20. I thought you were only 22.
yeah, about right. I hope so. I
Two
wish maybe.
two times, 22,
Yeah,
2 times over.
yeah.
ah, have to.
Well,
Nice.
I mean, as these events grow and as these prize funds grow, I mean, it's the chicken or the egg, right? It's did those different rooms not exist when you were a kid because they didn't have the money to do it, or did they do it because nobody would support it, right? And
I
now
think
that the prize funds go up,
no. I think just the times were different. 35 years ago, we were under Soviet Union. you couldn't buy eggs from the store or something like that. Just the times are different. Now
Yeah,
everything is
it's
developed. We have a nice country. It's really great to live here, and yeah, I mean, all the facilities, everything's gone up and better. But also I think the pool is in really great spot at the moment.
Hmm.
We have the world championships with 1 million prize money. We have a WPA tournaments. We have matchroom tournaments. Also, they just announced, I think, there's a 500,000 prize fund tournament in Qatar in December, and I think they made a 5-year contract for that one. So that's pretty big as well. So I mean, there's many tournaments to choose, and I just hope we could all work together and not ban everybody, or I mean the players.
well, let's
Yeah.
not get carried away. Like, we still got to be pool players after all. We got to be able to sabotage ourselves a little bit, don't we?
Yeah.
Obligated sabotage minimum twice a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob, do you want to talk about that? We'll let Bob take
Sorry?
this. Oh, of course, he freezes a little bit. I just want to put you on the spot.
What great timing.
Come on, Bob, tell us about your feelings. Yeah,
I
I'm pretty
didn't
sure that wasn't
understand that.
planned.
Yeah. No. Can you repeat the question, please?
Tell us about your thoughts on
I
banning,
didn't
Bob.
understand. I didn't have the question.
Oh, I'll say it
On
as many times
banning,
as you need to hear it, buddy.
my thoughts on
So, for full
my
disclosure,
thoughts on
in case you
banning
don't,
are
if you weren't around for Bob's inaugural, if you weren't around for Bob's initial podcast, you were the one who sent the very strongly worded letter to the WPA about banning, right? Which kind of went viral on Facebook.
Dennis even liked it, if I remember correctly. Maybe he doesn't remember it, but I do. He was one of the few players.
Yeah, I remember the letter. Yeah.
Yeah. My thoughts on banning are remain the same. The only thing that I am happy to say is that they wised up in some way, shape, or form, and that they decided not to go through with it because it would be their own downfall to do or to act on such stupidity. I try to word it nicely.
Another reason that maybe you're not playing some of these smaller U.S. events, right, Dennis? Because those aren't covered on the under the events that WPA will not ban you for, if I remember right?
Yeah, I think at the moment is the question about Vietnam Open is the main like question. They wanna ban us if we play there. I mean, I understand what they try to achieve, that we should have like a calendar, and we couldn't just put tournaments on top of each other. So they try to force, like, but I mean, why does it have to be the players to be in the middle of all that? I mean, we suffer, but what did we do wrong?
Well, that's the only leverage they have. So if they don't leverage you,
yeah, but I mean, like, we are not contracted. We should choose whatever tournaments we want to play, right?
in an ideal world, but
I still strongly believe, and Dennis will probably semi be able to confirm this. I still strongly believe that if this ever goes up to breaking points, that this is against European legislation of free labor and so on and so on. I still believe that if it would go to trial, I think WPA would lose.
Well, I don't know about a lot about juristic laws and stuff like that, but also I believe it's kind of, maybe we would win, yeah. But I hope it doesn't
I'm
go there.
Of course. I sincerely hope they get an injection of brain cells, I guess. and come to their senses. But I strongly believe, objectively speaking, that if it would come to that point, if it would come to trial, that they would lose. Europe, eh? I'm talking about Europe. Excuse me, Nate. I don't know how the laws are in the US specifically, but in Europe there is a thing, as in you are free to cross borders to work everywhere you want, and you cannot be permitted
Within the
forbidden.
EU.
Sorry, within the EU.
Yeah.
You cannot be forbidden to, as a EU citizen, you cannot be held to change jobs or work. That's again, I'm not a lawyer, obviously, but I know enough about it to be pretty sure that there is a case. But again, completely agree with you, Dennis. Let's pray for the pool world as a whole that it doesn't come to that.
Forgive my ignorance, but not all countries in Europe are obviously in the EU, obviously, because the UK pulled out. How many of the mainland European countries are part of the EU?
Good question.
Ukraine isn't. Ukraine isn't as well, right?
There's a
No,
lot
but
of countries.
there's a lot of countries
Almost
there.
all.
Yeah, almost all, and then you have a couple of countries that are like in a standby mode,
Which is
because
like Ukraine, right?
yeah,
Yes.
because they applied to the European Union, but they are lacking in some environmental laws or financials of the country that are not really 100% up to spec. So they're connected, but they're not officially connected. Ukraine is an example. Serbia is an example. So yeah,
I would assume that Belarus is one of them.
Yep.
yeah.
But
Seeing as
I don't think they ever get to being part of European Union.
Yeah.
no, not at this point, not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon, no.
So here's a snap question for you, Dennis. What event would you rather play in this year if you had the chance? The Reyes Cup or the Mosconi Cup?
Mosconi Cup.
Sure. That's not even a question, Nate.
I
Why
don't
would he
know.
play in the Reyes Cup?
The inaugural Reyes Cup in the Philippines, Manila? I feel like that place is going to go crazy. I feel like that'd be a lot of fun to be at.
I actually hope there would be more tournaments in Manila or Asia, because like in Vietnam as well, the crowd is crazy there. It's like 2,000 people watching. Everybody wants to make pictures. They enjoy the pool so much. Also in Manila, they used to have the World Cup of Pool in Manila. It was crazy because it was in a mall. There was like five-story mall, and the whole mall was packed. Like every floor, they had people watching. So they really enjoy pool. They love pool. Also, they have great players before. I mean, Efren and Bustamante. And I mean, like it's so much potential for Asia, I think, to grow the sport.
Yeah.
I mean, there's. I don't think that there's a country in the world that's more crazy for pool than the Philippines, right? I mean, as a whole. Dennis, you've been all the way across the world.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
yeah,
Vietnam's getting close. Vietnam seems to be crazy.
yeah, Vietnam was close, but yeah, I mean, yeah, in Philippines, I mean, it's like number 2 sport or number 3 sport what they have, and everybody knows Efren. Even all the taxi drivers, everybody knows they're like legends in Philippines. And how many great players are there from Philippines, and how many tournaments they have with like 100, 200, 300 players. I mean, it's like
There
a
are more.
national sport for them.
There are more champions in the Philippines that you've never heard of than there are in Estonia completely.
Yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, there's some guys coming up which you never heard of, and they play like crazy good. I mean,
Yeah.
crazy good.
And
The
all of
reason,
them are fearless.
yeah,
All
the
of
re-
them are fearless.
yeah, the reason you say the taxi driver knows Efren is because he probably played him. He probably played.
maybe.
That's why everybody plays pool in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also,
Yeah.
they play for the food, for the money, so that's why I think they're so good as well. Also, I watched Joe Rogan's podcast, and he talked about it, like how they became so good, the Filipinos, because the conditions were awful. You know, they had to. I mean, the clothes were so worn out, and the pockets play tight. So they are playing like in a chicken farm. You know, you've seen those matches when they everybody's shouting, they're betting money, throwing money everywhere. So the conditions are totally awful. So I think when they play in those kind of conditions, so when you go from there to a new table with a slick cloth, everything goes in. I mean, it's like a bucket for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trick is, I guess, keeping their cue ball under control, right?
Yeah. But also, yeah, they have so many great players, so they can play each other and practice with each other, learn tricks from each other. So it helps a lot. Like it's a big nation, they have so many champions. I mean,
Yeah.
it helps a lot.
Yeah. And they play a lot of 15 ball rotation as well, which is really difficult, in my opinion, humble opinion. So
Safety game's going to get real good.
when you master 15 ball rotation and then you go from 15 to 9, yeah, easy peasy.
Well, yeah, I think I spoke with Niels once, and Niels was saying that the best he was ever hitting the balls in his career, he could beat the 15 ball ghost about 1 out of every 4 times. But the best that he consistently beat the ghost was between 12 and 13 ball.
Yeah.
And they got Niels is one of the best ever, right? And he's at his best was beating a 13 ball ghost, struggling to.
Yeah, but still, Jesus. That's a
That's
difficult game. That's a
Oh, yeah.
really difficult game. Do you ever play that, Dennis, or is that not in your training
I mean,
routine?
I tried to play that, but yeah, I mean, it's quite difficult to run out, But it's a
Yeah.
good game for sure. And also, I think they play a lot of, one pocket. They play different kinds of games, so I enjoy a bit of one pocket as well. I played a little bit. I like the game. It also helps you develop the safety skills, the banking skills. So your cue ball needs to be really precise in one pocket. So yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah, nice.
It's kind of a game that's going to. I mean, there was a little resurgence maybe from 2016 to 2020, and then now with the WNT tour, I feel like one pocket is just back to slowly dying off, like a 14.1.
I think the one pocket is great, like for money game. Probably it's not so great maybe for tournament game because the races to 3, 4, 5 can take like 6 hours or something.
Yeah.
When with the slowest players they play safe and play all the balls up table. I mean it can take forever. So I'm not sure how good of a tournament game is it.
I'm blanking on who the other player was, but the Buffalo Classic, right? The
Yeah,
big one
yeah,
pocket event.
yeah.
Sergio Rivas. I'm not sure if you know who that is. He's a
I
young
know,
player.
I
Yeah.
know him. Yeah,
Young player from Wisconsin. He played a match that I think was just shy of like 11 hours, race to 3.
yeah, that's good. I want to see who wants to watch that for 11 hours. And then you talk about my game was slow rate to 10, 3.5 hours, right?
I did say your game was slow. I said the last rack was slow.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, of course it was slow, but I
Well,
mean,
I'll say this: when you're going to have a 7-minute commercial in between 3 racks, it's going to take a long time.
Yeah,
Some of
yeah,
those
yeah,
commercials were just
yeah.
absolutely crazy.
Yeah. What do you prefer, Dennis, with or without shot clock?
mm, yeah, I mean, I think, for watching perspective, it's better to watch with a shot clock, right? But from playing perspective, I
Hey,
think it's a bit easier to play without. Also, I think like 30 seconds, maybe a little bit too
well,
little
yeah, too little, yeah.
from playing perspective. I mean, to watch it's great because it brings out more mistakes from the players, and you see them suffer sometimes. It comes the beep and maybe they miss a shot. It creates more tension, more pressure on the players.
Yeah, but do you ever get distracted then by a slower player?
Not much nowadays, I think. There's
No?
actually also not too many slow players in the brackets. Like,
Mm.
but I mean, like I was, when I was playing the match, the final match, I was thinking like, should I ask for a shot clock? Because Alex, like, he had 3 balls left or 4 balls, which were really easy, and he
Yeah,
took
yeah,
his time as well. He
he
took
took his
forever,
time.
like.
Yeah, but he's a friend of yours, right? He's a
Yeah,
close
yeah,
friend.
yeah. Yes, yes.
Uh, do you like playing against friends, or do you don't really?
I
Me,
guess it's
I don't like
maybe
it. I don't like
easier
it.
to play with when you're not a friend, I
Ah,
guess.
yeah, okay, yeah. Well, I
But
have
then,
the same feeling.
but then again, we are all kind of friends in the circuit. I mean, with Kachi, with Sanchez. I mean, we all know each other's game in and out. We know, we've been traveling together for the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years, at least. Uh,
But are you
it's
all friends, or because with Kachi and with Mario and Alex, you really traveled as a group? That
Yeah,
that
yeah. I mean, with some of the guys, you just sometimes you go hang out or have a
yeah.
meal or something, and the others are like more like real friends because you do like most of the stuff together,
Mm,
and you message them a lot more than the others.
yeah,
I suppose some are
Obvi-
like coworkers, right? Some are coworkers and some are
yeah,
friends.
yeah.
And you can
Yeah,
have coworkers that are friends, and you can have coworkers that
yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right.
Uh, yeah. Well, speaking of gambling, because you brought up the gambling, what do you think of the Fedor and Shane? Do you have any opinion on it? Because it's kind of the first gambling match we've had for about a year. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I have to favor Fedor a little.
Think so?
Really?
Yeah, I guess so. Mm,
I mean, all things in my mind say, yeah, probably if Fedor by a tiny smidgen. But then it's like, well, it's hard to bet against Shane in these types of things. He doesn't lose very often, especially
yeah, I
when it's
know.
10 ball.
And
Well,
especially with his break.
that's the thing. With the break, I favor Shane, not by a nose, not by a huge, but with the break,
I don't think you realize how good Fedor's break is, though. I mean, Fedor's
yeah,
break is really, 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 really good too.
yeah, yeah. But you have
I,
to
I
give an
think
edge somewhere.
I think that Shane can have like a momentum and he can string racks together maybe more than Fedor.
Yeah.
But overall, I think Fedor might be the better player at the moment. Also, he's younger, so he has more stamina maybe in a long race.
See,
But I
I
mean,
actually think the opposite of that because I mean, yes, he's younger, but like he's got back issues. And Hunt raced a 120 over 3 days. I mean, if his back flares up at all,
yeah, I mean, we never know what's gonna happen before the match. Who has some issues or who has a headache or whatever. You never know. I
Mm,
think it's very slight, edge to Fedor. I think in my mind.
okay. Yeah. I have it the other way around. Just slight edge to Shane.
Yeah. So Nate, you're the one who says who's
well,
gonna win it.
well, to be honest with you, I think that Fedor's going to win, but my heart tells me Fedor's going to win, but my head says don't bet against Shane until you have reason to bet against Shane. Because I mean, how many races to 100 to 120 has Shane played in his career, and has lost exactly 0 of them? I believe in 10 ball. I don't think he's ever lost a big set of 10 ball. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think he's ever lost a race to. Maybe he lost to Chang, but I thought that was 9 ball off the top of my head. I think that was 9 ball that he lost that.
Yeah, for sure. He hasn't lost many money matches at all. Like,
Mm.
but yeah, I mean,
Well,
It will be
especially 10
nice to
ball.
watch. It will be nice to watch.
But
It's
what I will say, so I'm my heart agrees with Dennis, and my head agrees with Bob. So I'm just straddling the fence. But one thing that I do agree with, or one thing that I do say, I think that Kachi beats both of them.
no, not now. No,
I think not.
no,
Maybe.
I think Kachi beats both of them.
no. Not with his current state of injury.
What,
I mean, if I'm assuming that if the match happens, that he's 100% healthy, or as close to 100% healthy as he can get.
I mean, it's a tough one.
It's a tough one, yeah.
The problem is because we've never seen play Kachi race to 120.
Yeah,
That's
indeed.
the
You have no
problem.
reference.
We haven't.
There's no reference. We have seen long matches of Fedor. We have seen long matches of Shane, but we have no reference of Kachi. Maximum race to what, 15? Something like that.
Something like that, yeah. The reference that I'm going off of is he has won a lot of the Predator Pro Tour stops, and he is first place, third place, first place in the World 10 Ball. The last 3 years.
But this is tournaments. You can't compare
That's
to money game
you
race to
can't,
120. This is totally different thing.
You can't compare them, but what you can say is I can't give him credit for that for 120, but I can say that that's pretty good for a 3 tournament stretch.
I mean, he's a great player. He's a great player. He's a great champion. I give you that. But race to 100 is different thing for money. I don't know.
Yeah.
What was the match with Orcolo? He played somebody, and I think he beat him Hill just like a few years ago. It was also race to 100 something 20. Do you remember that?
Yeah. He played Shane Van Boning, and Shane had him down 114 to 92. Shane had him down 22 games.
And Orcolo came back and won, right?
Yep.
So there you go. He has lost.
But that was 9 ball, not 10 ball.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but what's the odds that he's gonna lose from 20 games up again? I think never in his life.
It was a fluke for sure, but yeah, Orcolo is not to be messed with as well, of course.
If there's someone capable of doing it, it's
For me personally, if I have to give an edge to Fedor, I think in the Fedor versus Shane match, Shane can lose from himself. Fedor, in my opinion, is mentally stronger. That's where I give an edge to Fedor. If Shane gets in Shane's head and he's like
mentally stronger,
like this in his chair, then Shane can lose. We all saw him. If it's Mosconi Shane, then he can lose. I don't think he will lose in
if it's Mosconi Cup Shane, he can't win. Like it's not he can lose, he can't win.
Also, there's a factor like I don't know how much these guys put their own money, like probably close to zero, I guess.
Close to zero, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, do they really care like if they win or lose? I mean, obviously they care, but like
I think that this has become personal enough that the money means nothing.
Yeah, probably.
Neither one of them. I mean, don't get me wrong. $80,000 is not some insignificant amount of money. But if there's 2 players that shouldn't or that would potentially not care about $80,000, is the guy who just won 250 and the guy who's a multimillionaire, times over.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, definitely if you talk about experience, I think Shane has a lot more experience in that type of matches. So he's been playing those matches like 15 years probably from now. So how many matches has Fedor played?
I know he robbed Jeff DeLuna.
Yeah, but this is different kind of player.
Yeah. Just like that was a race to 120. It's the only reason I bring it up.
Yeah.
He played. Who else has he played?
I don't some one pocket stuff, but that's
he's played some one pocket. Lots of races to 30 and 40, I think, with Tony and.
Yeah.
I feel like there's got to be another player that he matched up with at some point, right? But in a perfect world, in a perfect situation, I want to see Fedor and Shane play, and then the winner of that plays the winner of Kachi and Filler. How much fun would that be?
Same format, 10 ball race to 120?
120.
Kachi Filler.
I like Filler in that game.
Yeah, I like Filler as well, to be honest.
I don't. I like Kachi, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but
Everything, every 10 ball game. I don't know that Shane's break is better than Kachi's. It's more controlled than Kachi's, but Kachi's, man, when you watch him break 10 ball, he
Yeah,
hits
but
them at like 27 miles an hour and he makes like 2 balls every time.
yeah,
I mean, I know, like, I was exactly where like you guys were when I saw him make the post on, when Shane and Fedor were doing this and they announced the post, and it's like everyone's sleeping on me, huh? And then he just put like the world champion gold medal, world champion bronze medal, world champion gold medal. And those were the last 3 that were out there. I think he's got a point. I think everyone is sleeping on him. When you look at what he's done across all games, he's been a finalist for the World 8 Ball. He's been a 2-time 10 ball champion. He's won. He's been a
that's a
finalist
tournament.
9 ball.
That's a tournament. That's a whole different ball game than a money match.
But you're assuming now that because it's a tournament that it won't translate to a money match. It's not that he can't do it. It's just that you have never seen it. Doesn't mean he can't do it.
Of course he can do it. Of course he can do it. We're talking about a select group of 10 players who are coin flipping basically for such a match.
Yeah, more or less what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
You understand what I'm saying? They're basically coin flipping amongst each other. So of course he can do it, but I think in such games, and Dennis, please chime in here, in such games, experience, coping with the pressure, giving a rat's ass about money, playing long sets, preparation for playing long sets. I haven't seen Kachi play a set to 120.
Well, before Dennis jumps in, because I do want to hear Dennis's statement to that. But if there's one player who is built differently on the Pro Tour today about not having any of that affect him, the list starts and stops with Filler and Kachi.
Yeah, I think that they are not afraid of any player, kind of.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, race to 100. I don't know about Kachi. Yeah, I mean, he posted up that he can play. Rack them up with anybody in the world.
Yeah, you can have the first. You can have the first break.
Yeah,
That's a good line.
Yeah, for me, it's too much of a bragging. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
I mean, he should follow it up with action, then, right?
Yeah, you cannot argue for Shane that he has experience, he hasn't lost a game, he hasn't lost a big money match, and then throw experience out of the window when you're fighting for Kachi. You cannot use the experience card for Shane and then disregard it completely for Kachi.
Well,
I'm not saying that he can win. I'm saying experience matters in those situations.
I'm not using experience as much as I'm using his track record. The guy's never lost a 10-ball match, to my knowledge.
I mean, for the moment, it's hypothetical. At the moment, we have Fedor and Shane playing. So yeah, I mean,
I hope it happens.
Yeah, probably they make the date, right? It's like October.
Yeah.
No, it's in August, right?
In August, I think. Yeah,
in August. Yeah. Also, I think it depends like how good shape they are in, how much they're practicing. There's a lot of things to consider, maybe some of the guys wins a big event before that, like the European Open or something. Also, it gives you confidence that you're in a great shape if you do good in the tournaments, and that might carry on to the money game as well. So it's a lot of things to consider. Maybe Shane's fishing every day. He never plays, so you don't know. But obviously he would practice before that big money match. You would think so. So yeah. Where is it being played?
Kentucky at Rail Yard.
So who does it favor? The pool hall?
Do you have an idea about the equipment?
It'll be a 9-foot diamond. They have 9-foot diamonds at Railhouse.
What
did you ask, Dennis?
4 1/4 pockets.
I would assume it's 4 1/4, unless they're going to bring in a table for it. I mean, it's very possible to bring in a custom table for it. I don't know the details on it, but I mean, I would think it'd be 4 1/4. That's usually.
I think 4 1/4 would.
I think the bigger the pocket, it's better to the
pay more. Yeah.
because that break becomes better and better and better and better the bigger the pockets, right?
August
Also,
15th, August 17th.
Depends
No,
on new cloth too.
I was
Whether
I was asking like who would it favor more, the pool club?
oh, I mean, I think Fedor live. I think they're both about equal distance. I mean, as far as travel time, I mean, and they'll both be there 3 days early, I would assume.
It's just probably the location, like who likes it more and who practices there more or who's been there more, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like who has more friends in that area, more fans, more support.
Also something to take into account.
Yeah. I've been in some of these rooms where it clearly favored one player over the other, and it can be tough to play in a situation like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Fun.
I think Shane will always be the favorite, right? The crowd favorite, I mean.
I don't know, man. Fedor's getting close. Fedor is pretty well liked.
Yeah,
Yeah, they both kind of Americans now.
kind of Americans. He's a kind of an American.
I
Yeah.
mean, maybe soon he becomes a citizen, right?
Working on it.
Yeah.
Are you
Do you know?
are you a dual citizen anywhere, Dennis?
No.
Yeah.
No, we can't be actually. We don't have two passports allowed, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, the United States allows for 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, Belgium as well. We allow for 2. Yeah.
Well, do you have any-
Are they wooden racking or template racking? Does anyone know that?
They have to be template. They have to be.
It doesn't have to be.
I think that. I think it. I don't think Shane. I don't think Shane accepts the game without it being template.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I saw
'Cause-
Fedor once playing a wooden rack 10-ball match. Who was that? Was that Orcolo as well, or Pagalion? I don't know. That match. I have
not
to look
sure.
it up.
I mean that's Dennis or Alex. I mean that's their absolute request though, because I mean it's hard to find 2 players in the world. I mean maybe now obviously, but like 10 years ago, it's hard to find 2 players in the world that were better after the break than those 2, because neither one of them ever had a phenomenal. I mean Dennis's break is actually like about as bad as it can be for how good of a player he is.
Yeah,
Alex was a little bit better, but not much better.
probably will be template. Huh?
I don't think Shane takes the game without it.
Yeah.
Because I think we would all agree that Shane's break is his advantage, right?
Yes.
Maybe I mean if you look at past the break, I mean jumping, obviously that's Fedor's strength. Banking the balls, I mean that's a wash, maybe a slight favorite to Fedor. Cue ball, that's pretty much if you go into all the characteristics from there, the only one that you might give Shane the edge on is breaking and maybe kicking. And even then, I mean, it's most of the stuff Fedor is it favors Fedor, right? Dennis, you agree?
Yeah, I think Fedor is quite good in all the aspects. Also, Shane is really good, solid overall. Like all of his, I don't know. It comes down to, it's like a coin flip, and it comes down to who has better momentum in that day, who woke up with the left leg or whatever, It's like
Yeah. I give the safety to Shane though. Slight, eh? Everything is slight. I give the safety edge to Shane.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. I just give the edge to Shane stringing racks together. Like he can put up a 10-pack or something like that, or make it like a 5, play safe, play 6 racks in a row. Maybe Fedor doesn't put that many racks together. Maybe. But overall, I feel like Fedor is a little bit more sharp in his game at the moment than Shane.
And this is August, so I mean we're still, a full month and a half away. So a lot of things can change from now until then.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Dennis, you have any thoughts on the first 2 players announced for the Reyes Cup?
So it's Gachi and Aloysius.
Yeah.
good for them. I mean, they're great players. I mean, yeah. Uh, Obviously, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be more tight than the Mosconi, but I still believe Europe gonna win the Reyes Cup as well.
Really?
I do not. I do not agree with that either.
No, I do not agree with that. No.
We'll
No.
see.
I
Yeah,
think that the one built-in advantage that Europe has every year, and it can't be really quantified at all. The U.S. really only cared about the Mosconi Cup the last 4 to 5 years, and really since we won 2 years in a row, since like 2018, 2019, that was really the first time the U.S. has started to care. And up until maybe the last, maybe in Vegas, it was still probably 60% Europe and 40% US. Up until that point, I mean, Europe has always had a huge advantage on crowd, and this is Europe will have maybe 5% of the crowd, maybe.
That's the only big advantage what Asia. I mean, the team Asia has is their crowd. Obviously, they are great players, but they never had that experience playing like a Mosconi Cup type of match.
Every single Filipino says otherwise. I mean, if it was 5 Filipinos, I don't think that Europe would have a chance, just because they've played that all the time.
Yeah, but it's not 5 Filipinos. If you take the past world champions, like how many Europeans are the past world champions?
Sure.
Like almost all of them. Okay, Carlo won the world 10 ball.
Yeah.
But if you take the past, like Albin, Filler, Chepchik, the most of our Europeans.
yeah. I think also conditions will be too great of a factor. Humidity, heat, add in the crowd. I think that's going to be a little bit too much for Europe.
But obviously it depends who's gonna make it to the to the
I
team,
was gonna
right?
say, every non-Filipino that gets picked, I think, is another notch towards Europe, and another. If by the end of this, let's say Carlo Beato or Johan Chua is the only Filipino, and the rest are the Co brothers and Aloysius, and maybe I don't know, Dang or something like that. I don't know. Pick a player. But if there's only one Filipino, then I think Europe wins. But if there's at least, let's say, 3 Filipinos, they've played in those conditions a trillion times over. That's all they play in. I mean,
But
we've all seen
also
the videos.
Also, it depends who's from Europe side. If they have 2 rookies in Team Europe,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
that's a big factor as
Of
well.
course.
And when I'm saying this, I'm assuming like basically the Mosconi Cup team from last year, minus somebody and throw in Kachi.
Yeah, I'm thinking in the same line. I'm taking the team of last year. I'm dumping FSR. Sorry, FSR. He's not in shape. I'm adding Kachi to the mix and taking those 5 guys. And I think they will lose to Team Asia, not by a lot, but I think they will lose due to circumstances and conditions and crowd.
Yeah, and mine is predicated off of, obviously we're talking hypotheticals, but the more
course.
Filipinos that are on the team, I think the Filipinos just hold up under different types of stimuli where Europeans and Americans don't. And I put like the Co brothers into more like a European type of player than I do a Filipino. So if there's a real chance that it could be like a Aloysius Yap and a Chang Jung Lin and a 2 Co brothers and like a Dang or something like that from China, and there's 0 Filipinos, which I don't think they would ever let that happen. But I mean, if that's the case, I don't care what team Europe brings. I think that they're probably a 60-40 favorite.
Agreed. And even with 3 Filipinos, if they come to Europe, they also lose.
Oh yeah, they would lose in Europe. I think they would
lose in Europe. For
Yes.
me personally, they lose
I
in
agree.
Europe. I don't know how you think about that, Dennis, but I think Asia. Well, yeah, obviously you would think that you think they will lose in Asia.
Yeah, right. It's an interesting conversation. I don't know. I don't know. That's all I really wanted to discuss today. Anything else that you want to say, Dennis?
We not much. Just a lot of tournaments coming up. Great tournaments.
I was going to ask that what your schedule was.
Yeah, it's I go Poland now for the World world
Yeah.
teams of the
Yeah.
Olympic. Some preparation for maybe pool gets to Olympics. So we have the teams. It's hayball, snooker, carom. They have 6 teams: 2 of Asia, 2 of Europe, uh, 1 from Africa, I believe, and 1 from maybe Oceania, maybe, or I don't know exactly. Anyway, yeah, I mean we have the European Open in Germany. We have I go Helsinki for the Town Open matchroom tournament, then I go US Open. I play the World 8 Ball in New Zealand. Then I believe we have the China Open maybe, and yeah, maybe the Vietnam Open.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, are
Also,
you gonna play that?
I'm not 100% sure now.
Yeah.
Depends how it's gonna work out. Also,
Yeah.
there's gonna be the International Open gonna be in Florida, I believe, for the first time. So that's gonna be a nice event. They're gonna be also a straight pool there and one pocket.
Oh,
So
really? Didn't know that. Okay.
yeah, and
Yeah.
in the end of the year they have the tournament in Qatar with the World 10 ball they call it. World Cup of 10 ball. It's gonna be like 500,000 prize money. That's gonna be a great event. Also, I enjoyed it last year. It was nice.
Yeah. Nice. Ah, full calendar, man.
Yeah, a
Lots
lot
of
of
air, lots of miles.
yeah, a lot of traveling. Yeah, yeah. I try. I mean, I have the airplane card, so I can go to the lounges and sometimes get upgrades. So that helps a little.
Yeah.
And I try to split the. If I'm in Asia, I will stay there for a little bit longer and play some tournaments or something like that. I wouldn't come back home and go back and forth. It's gonna kill you.
Yeah. Yeah.
When are you gonna come to Wisconsin to play some of my 600 and under tournaments?
When I become like 60 years old and I can't make a ball.
Uh, Meanwhile, Ralph Souquet's over here like, I'm 3 years short of 60. I'm still running out.
Well, I mean, you have to give him credit for what he's doing, the longevity and everything. And he's a great guy for pool and a real legend of the game. And he's a really nice guy. So, I mean, what he done and what he achieved in pool is a great example of
Absolutely.
of a great player.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
it is a bit of a bummer when when you come up with like people's Mount Rushmores of like the 4 greatest pool players ever, right? Nobody even gives an eye towards Ralph Souquet. It seems like, and
Yeah, that's in
if
the
he was a,
US. In Europe, he's recognized,
sure, are you going to put him on your top 4 of all time?
He won't be far off.
Yeah, I think if he was a flashier player throughout his career, I think he would get more of an argument for it. But he is just kind of like the. I mean, I don't mean this to sound disrespectful or anything, but he is probably the most boring champion we've ever had. Like he just
Yeah.
shows up with his work pail and he just gets the job done and gets out of there.
Yeah, but he has the credentials. If you look at the achievement lists, wow, what was it?
Yeah.
6 time, 7-time world champion or something like that.
Yeah.
No,
Also, if you take it as a player, I mean, you really enjoy playing against these kind of people. I mean, players that they always sit there like normally and don't do any kinds of like we had the award of the how you call it like fair play or something like then he's the one who could get it every year because he never tries to do anything crazy and he's always like polite and like that. So it's really nice to play these kind of players because now also in the tournaments we had that Suto and Ignacio case and we have some others people trying to pull all kinds of moves. I hate it. It should not be allowed and you should not be throwing chalks and hitting the cues. I mean sometimes it's fine, emotion comes out, but there should be some punishments as well.
Yeah.
yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but I think sometimes you also act in the heat of the moment and the emotion. I think pool needs more characters. because characters bring people, bring viewers, bring interest into the game. Emotions are connected with characters, obviously. So I understand the sharking bit. I don't think some of the sharking stuff was intentional. So should there be punishments? Nah, if it happens again, yes, you could get away with a warning. But let's be fair, if you want to grow the game, and there are 12 Ralph Suke's character-wise, because talent's unquestionable, but character-wise, nobody will watch. People watch to see a guy explode and smash his skew and run out and then jump on the table and
There's a
so
reason why people love Earl Strickland.
yeah, yeah. You don't
I
love
know
him for his character.
we need more clowns in pool. I know that's for sure.
Yeah, this how silly it sounds. I don't know if you say it sarcastically, but technically it's true what you're saying.
I have apple. I have pen. Apple pen.
Yeah, obviously it's great to watch some guys, but still I think like being as a sport there should be some rules, because we have some players maybe sometimes try to do some things intentionally. I'm not saying any names, and I don't
Mm,
know 100%. I cannot say that they're doing it intentionally, but there's some things, some moves which should be against the rules. To show
Oh yeah.
emotion, that's fine, but try to pull some moves. That's a different thing.
of course.
Well,
Um,
like the Robbie Capito and Pius Labudas thing, right? Where he was sitting on his like this with his fingers.
yeah,
I
but
don't.
this
I don't
this
think that was intentional, but
I made a comment as well, and I said I don't think he did it intentionally. He was just nervous, and also Pius said that he didn't even see
Mm,
Robbie messing with his fingers. But yeah, I mean, when a guy is shooting towards you, you should be standing quite still, right?
you would hope. Yeah.
agreed, 100%. But yeah, like I said, I don't think also that was intentional. So should
Yeah,
you punish him for that?
this was not intentional. Yeah.
Uh,
But I
so
have I have had players wiping their cues like when I'm shooting towards them in a tournament.
yeah,
So
that's deliberate. That's
what do you
100%
do with
deliberate.
this? I mean,
Yeah, yeah, that's
it should never be
100% deliberate.
allowed, and it's intentional, 100%.
100%, 100%, very much so. Yeah, that's there's a million of those tricks. You have to shoot towards a certain pocket. You put the chalk near that pocket, and all of those gimmickies. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's difficult to punish.
yeah,
How do you punish? How far do you go? Repeat offending. What do you do with that? It's difficult to. It's a thin line. Uh, yeah.
You would hope that they kind of self-govern themselves out of the industry, as you know, that they build their reputation and the players kind of ostracize them. You would hope that they kind of work their way out of the industry, but unfortunately, that doesn't always work that way. I mean,
Yeah, indeed.
Dennis, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I would assume that outside of the top 3 or 4 U.S. players, you don't like playing probably any U.S. players because there are so many of those that middle pack U.S. players that are known for their moves.
yeah. There are some who I can remind of at the moment.
And I got no problem calling them out because I mean, you're talking about like a BJ Ushery who's he spends more time talking at the table than he does actually shooting at the table, or like a Jonathan Hennessy who will very very gladly take 15 minutes per shot if you let him, or an Earl Strickland. I mean, he constantly is always talking. He's constantly bantering or belittling his opponents or the crowd or whatever. I mean, there's
That's the problem because we don't have any kind of like rules and we can't punish them. What do you give? You give a warning. Also, like back in the days, I'm not talking about only American. If you seen Albin Ocean play back in the days, like 10 years ago, maybe more,
he was fiery.
he was bad. Like he was like smashing the cues all the time.
Smashing
I
cues.
mean,
Yeah.
I've done it also. Like if somebody says, "Oh, you're talking about," I've done it also. But I mean, there's no punishment for it, so you might as well keep doing it. Nobody's gonna do anything.
As long as your sponsor continues to pick up the bill for it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it's a tough topic, you know.
yeah. It's difficult indeed. And I think, to be fair, as the sport will grow, also that will be solved. I think step by
Yeah, I
step.
think that also somebody, I think Darren Appleton was like brought up the thing that if you would be a tennis player and you, or like if pool players would be like tennis players, they get 17th place and they get 200 grand. So nobody would ever throw their rackets and be like, you know,
That's completely wrong.
because they would just shake hands and yeah, well done. I still get my 200K, you know.
Man, you see people smashing tennis rackets all the time.
Yeah, I know because they want to win and it's still big,
Yeah.
you know. But I mean, they would be not. They are not. You know, we didn't have so much money in pool. Now it's getting better and better all the time.
I
You
don't I
know,
don't know. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think that that's the case ever. I think that people who get to be the best in the world at whatever they do, the paycheck is 110% completely separated from their desire to win and be the greatest ever, right? I mean,
maybe
you can't become one of the best in the world at something, being happy to cash a paycheck. I just don't think
you're
that that's
you're
true.
you're right. But I still would be really happy if I get 17th place and I get 100,000. I don't really care if I lost or won. You know, I would
Well,
be hitting the beach or going to the swimming pool and be happy. You know.
Yes,
well,
but that's
I think if you
spoken
did it
like a
every
player who. Yeah,
yeah,
sorry,
I
Nate.
think if
Sorry,
you
Nate.
I think if you did that every single tournament, I think it's just you're looking at what I don't have and you're thinking I'd be happy with that. But if you had that, you'd be looking at the next one and saying, well, maybe if it was a million, and then I think that's the problem with humans is they're never going to be happy with what they have. They're always going to be looking at the next tier, and ultimately the true test of a champion is your happiness and failures is based off of the success you have on the table, not off the success of your bank account.
Obviously, you still want to win the tournaments.
Yeah.
It helps though. The check helps.
Well, it helps you get to the next one.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
you'd rent an SUV instead of a Toyota Corolla for if you won the event. That was
You know,
that was a 2018 Dennis joke, in case you were wondering.
a few years back, I mean, a few years back, I think it was like maybe 5, 6 years ago. Uh, I was complaining that there was no carpet in the UK Open or something. And then Emily said in the podcast that Dennis would not be happy also if there would be $1 million prize fund.
Hmm.
And in this year's World Championships, I go to Emily and I say, now I'm happy.
You want to know what would have been really funny is if you showed up for your second match and there was no carpet on the ground, like they just ripped out all the carpet on your table.
You know, I'm a little bit easier now with everything in my life, so I try to enjoy more of the tournaments and not complain too much and be a little more easy. And also, I think a lot of things have been going in the right direction. You know, we had like one ball on the spot and like many things like which were not great. Now a lot of things have been going better and better. Also, Matchroom is doing a great job with these tournaments. You know, they have great prize money. Also, WPA are doing a good job with their tournaments, so it's growing. We have a lot of viewers and fans. So I think the sport is in good hands.
I think that you're not going to. I think that's one thing that all three of us can agree on. Bob argued just for fun. He can't even come to like agree with it. He's just got to like mute himself. So, did you mute yourself?
Yeah, I
Can you
can't
hear
hear
him,
him
Dennis?
as well. No, I can't hear him.
I guess he just absolutely dead refuses to agree on anything, or the
Test, test.
podcast god. Yeah, there you
Yes.
go. The
Yeah.
podcast gods won't allow an agreement on the way out the door, I guess.
No, no, no. But I'm not arguing. But I'm just wondering, you're so mellow now, so you wouldn't be angry at your partner anymore now, like in the doubles game there. That wouldn't happen anymore. You're chill now.
Yeah, I mean, I've been always like a little bit harsh, maybe sometimes when somebody's doing a stupid mistake. But I mean, first 2 years we were in the World Cup of pool, we lost Hill 2 matches, and
Hmm.
mostly because of our mistakes. And then the third or fourth year we became third. I mean, if we didn't do those mistakes and wouldn't talk to each other like, what we can try to improve and be a little harsh, maybe we will never, make it somewhere, Uh,
Yeah, I thought that was an awesome moment. I think that was uh
and we are great friends off the table, and
yeah,
whatever happens, we have some sayings. We're still good friends now. So I mean, it doesn't affect, the
sure,
anything much.
sure.
It's
But
just
at that moment,
heat of the moment.
the heat of the moment, and it showed you cared, and I thought that was awesome. Not those wimpy fist bumps. No, you fucked up, you stupid c words.
Well, there goes my ability to monetize the podcast. I guess there goes 13 cents I'm never gonna have. You owe me 13 cents, Bob.
I'll send you 15 cents interest.
If you, yeah, you're gonna need to, because if not, this little girl's not gonna eat.
Wow.
Yeah,
Sell some more shafts and it's fine.
gonna need to. All right, well, Dennis, it's been fun. Thanks for
Yeah,
joining us, and congratulations on your win. Next two
absolutely.
beers are on you. You've already agreed. I got proof.
Yeah, sure. We'll have a few in US Open.
All right.
Fine, if I have to. Gee, dang
Yeah,
it.
sure.
All right. Well, with that, we'll tune up for the week. Thanks everybody for tuning in and for participating in the chat. And thanks, Bob and Dennis.
Thanks.